Good morning. How is everybody on this lovely Saturday afternoon or morning, actually, wherever you are? It's morning here at 10 o'clock. So today we're going to do a replay of the SpaceX Starship IFT-3 launch. I had watched it live on the 14th. That was Thursday. So I'm going to replay it for my audience today. So basically, the goal of the Starship is a integrated flight test. That's what IFT stands for. So it's the third one. So the purpose of these tests is to work through the mission profile of the Starship launch. So you normally have a launch, and then it goes into space, and then at some point it re-enters the atmosphere. So those are the three legs of this flight. This is the third one, so we, as of yet, have not reached orbit. So today's goal is to clear the launch tower, go into space. It will cruise in space, in orbit, all the way to the Indian Ocean, and then, which is kind of near Australia, and then it will drop into the Indian Ocean near getting there. So I'm sure it's a few hundred or 1,000 or so miles away. But anyway, it'll drop in the ocean. That's the plan. And there's a few tests that they want to conduct while they're in orbit. So what they want to do is to open the payload bay door to make sure it's operating, and so that they can eject payloads out like the Starlink satellites. The goal is to kind of launch those satellites like an old Pez dispenser of old. I'm sure every child's familiar with that, everybody. And the other goal was, of course, to do an in-orbit propellant transfer, because when the Starship gets ready to go to the moon, it's got to refuel. So there's got to be another Starship that transfers propellant from that ship to the Starship that's going to go on and land astronauts onto the lunar surface. And then when they get ready to go to Mars, I believe that it's going to require up to 10 launches of propellant to transfer to that ship when we get ready to go to Mars. The moon's a lot closer to Earth, so I don't think they need quite as much fuel. All right, well, I'm going to take you on over. This is a replay. It happened on Thursday. It was a complete success. It's set for the final splashdown on both cases. That would be for the heavy booster as well as the Starship, and you'll see. So let's go on, and I'll start it. So, one moment. I credit Wall Street Journal for this. This is launching from Boca Chica, Texas. So, yeah, let's get going. It's very exciting.
4, 3, 2, 1.
Isn't that exciting?
Okay.
30 seconds into flight, we are feeling the rumble. We are seeing 33 out of 33 Raptor engines ignited on the Super Heavy booster.
Booster and ship, avionics, power, and telemetry nominal. Acquisition of signal, Corpus Christi.
Continuing to get good call outs. Our trajectory looking nominal, systems looking nominal. Just amazing to see all 33 lit up once again.
There is some latency issues. Just be patient.
At this point, we've already passed through max Q, that maximum dynamic pressure, and passing supersonic, so we're now moving faster than the speed of sound, getting those onboard views from the ship cameras.
Let me move so you can see the...
Now the next major milestone is going to be a hot staging maneuver. Again, we're going to be doing that in just about 90 seconds. To do that, we're going to shut down all but the 3 center Raptor engines on Super Heavy. That'll be our MECO, our most engines cut off. And then the clamps holding the 2 stages together are going to release. Starship's second stage will ignite its engines, the RVACs first, the sea levels right after that. The sea level engines will be splayed or just kind of pointed out at about a 15-degree angle. So if you look close and we get good tracking, you might be able to see those center right after. And so those 6 engines will push Starship off of the booster. All right, counting down now. We're going to be coming up right at around the 3-minute mark on that hot staging maneuver. Again, we'll see the booster engines start to shut down. You'll see all but 3 lights go out in the middle. And then we'll see the engines ignite on ship, pushing it away.
You can see
now we'll start carrying the ship into space.
On the left side there,
booster
the
will
lower
start to do its flip and then move into the boost back burn, setting it up for eventual splashdown
you'll see
in the Gulf of Mexico.
2 stages separate. So now the booster's heading back into the Gulf of Mexico, and the Starship continues to go on into orbit.
Confirmed.
And on the right, you can see the Starship
6
as
engines
it's going
ignited
into orbit,
on
and then,
ship.
of course, you can see
Kate, we got a
the
Starship
speed
on
and
its way to
altitude
space
of
and a
the
booster
booster.
on the way back to the Gulf.
Oh man, I need a moment to pick my jaw up from the floor because these views are just stunning. These are live views from Starship. First stage is currently performing the
ship avionics, power and telemetry nominal.
Good there, news informing us that the second stage or the ship, everything looking good, nominal there. First stage is currently performing the boost back burn, expecting that to last about 1 minute. That boost back burn,
pressure is nominal.
That boost back burn propels the booster back towards the coast, taking it to a landing in the waters of the Gulf of Mexico. We're only using the Super Heavy booster's 13 center engines from here on out. As whenever they relight, you'll be able to see that in the left bottom corner.
Why I can only see
those are the ones that can gimbal. In other words, they move and change direction in order to change the thrust to steer the first stage back to Earth.
Again, some latency can't be helped, except in edit.
Wow, these are just incredible views coming to us.
So the Starship
Everything
to
is
the right,
looking good
all
for both
6
the first
engines
stage
are firing.
on the left-hand side of your screen or the Super Heavy booster, as well as on the right-hand side of your screen, that is Starship, or we also refer to that as the ship.
Yeah. On the Starship, there's 6 engines.
The
There's
boost back
3
burn
orbital
was the
engines
first
and
of 2 burns
3
required to return
sea
it to
level
Earth.
engines. The sea
The next
level are
one
the
will be the
smaller
landing burn,
bells,
where all
the
13
smaller
center
circles,
engines will
and the
initially
big
ignite and then
orbital
transition
are the
into a
bigger
3-engine
circles.
burn to help slow it down. Now, just as a reminder of the Stage 1 test objectives, we're looking for controlled ascent, which we have so far. Stage separation, which, gorgeous, we cruised right through it, as well as
on a nominal trajectory.
Good news there, telling us that the path that Starship is on is good. Now, Starship's second stage is still firing its engines, and as you heard, following planned flight path. The ship objectives, we're looking for hot staging, again, cruised right through that. We're looking to demonstrate controlled ascent as well as orbital insertion. Now, the bottom right-hand corner of the screen shows the ship engine graphics, so be sure to keep an eye on those.
Yep, Kate, this is just a phenomenal test so far. Super Heavy is performing beautifully today. It's on its return leg of the journey. Ship continuing to burn its 6 engines, those larger circles, the Raptor vacuum engines, the inner circles, the Raptor sea level engines. We're about 30 seconds away, just under 30 seconds away from the start of the boost back burn. The landing burn on the booster. You can see the grid fins rotating. Those hypersonic grid fins are guiding us through the atmosphere back towards our splashdown site. Again, we're going for a splashdown, a soft splashdown. So for landing burn, we're going to expect to see the 13 center engines light, rapidly bring down the booster's velocity, and then just the 3 in the center for splashdown. Let's see if that'll work. We're getting a few engines.
It looks like that the booster engines never did fire, so
an acquisition of signal.
now it's splashed down hard into the Gulf of Mexico, destroying
itself. This is a test
itself.
objective today. It is still something that we're attempting to learn.
Yeah.
And to make it that far, to demonstrate the controlled re-entry up to that point is pretty darn good. Ship continuing to look nominal with its ascent burn. This burn lasting about 6 minutes total. And we're expecting that this burn will end just after T+8 minutes, about a minute from now. So far, though, I mean, congrats to the team. Making it this far is farther than we've gone.
Absolutely.
On Flight 2. Just wonderful views and great engine performance from the vehicles.
All right. So that was the launch. Now we're going to watch the re-entry. SpaceX reaches orbit. Yeah, I think this is it. So, let's see. All right. Hopefully this is it.
Rumble, we are seeing 33 out of 33 Raptor engines ignited on the Super Heavy booster.
Booster and ship, avionics, power and telemetry nominal. Acquisition of signal,
And passing supersonic, so we're now moving faster than the speed of sound. Getting those onboard views from the ship cameras.
One moment. I wanted to see a full thing, re-entry. One moment. Yeah, I believe this was, sorry. We'll get it going. Now this, what you're going to watch now is the SpaceX Starship re-entering the Earth's
as it
atmosphere.
re-enters the atmosphere.
And that's part of the reason why the flaps are so important.
All right. Hopefully. One moment. Credit video from space.
Behind it.
There we go.
There's some of
Now
those
this
great
is while
views
it's in orbit.
from Starlink, giving us views of Starship's
This was
onboard videos.
43 minutes
And so we're hoping that
after
the
the
Starlink on
launch.
board will let us, just like we're seeing
So
these videos now,
it looks like
see
that
through
they're
that
over the
plasma
Indian
field
Ocean.
by maintaining
They're
a
getting
continuous
ready to start
communication
the
lock with the
re-entry
satellites
of
on
the
orbit
Starship
through the
into
wake
the
that Starship
atmosphere.
leaves behind. Now, this is only the second time that we're testing Starlink during re-entry.
Yeah,
So even though we do have these great visuals now, don't be surprised if we manage to get some signal hiccups through. We're still learning about what that wake will actually look like in practice and whether we're able to get that live continuous high-speed data during re-entry.
Yeah, that's right. And one of the really primary reasons we want to use Starlink is to just gather as much data as possible. It's been said the data is the payload on one of these flights, where we're putting this flight hardware in a real flight environment, trying to learn about it as much as possible. Re-entry is going to be a really critical phase of flight. We really want to know how the ship's going to perform, especially that heat shield, as we're going through the hypersonic re-entry. So if something were to go wrong during this re-entry, we want as many paths as possible to collect that information, that data, just to, again, just continually feedback
video from
into
space,
the
which is a
Starship
replay
program
of
to make
the
each flight
SpaceX
more reliable, more successful.
Acquisition signal, Mauritius.
Yeah. Isn't that impressive?
Now, if Starship manages to make it all the way through re-entry, we'll collect valuable data on Starship flying through the Earth's atmosphere at hypersonic speeds, meaning more than 5, or at this point, will be more than 5 times the speed of sound.
Now you notice the flaps
Now we're
moving
watching
up there
these
at the
live
front
views,
of the
HD views
vehicle.
by the looks of it, thanks to Starlink. You can see that the flaps there on the ship might be actuating.
Now it's losing some TPS tiles, you can tell.
Certainly some incredible visions of planet Earth behind Starship. Now, we've already validated Starship's ability to fly and land at subsonic speeds. You might recall those suborbital flights from a few years ago, and we can see those flaps there. So getting data on aspects like heating and control while traveling way faster than we did before is going to be critical to eventually bringing Starships back from space for rapid reuse. So I mentioned those flaps. That's one of the things that enables Starship to help control itself and survive the heat of reentry, which, like we said before, we're expecting that reentry to occur around T plus 49 minutes. So we're getting pretty close here.
And what you're seeing here, it looks like the vehicle is sort of moving back and forth. Part of what you're also seeing is one of the cameras, this onboard view that we have, is on the end of a flap. Starship has front flaps and rear flaps in the vehicle. So we've got 4 of those. And, oh man, we can see the heating on those flaps as we're starting to re-enter the Earth's atmosphere. This is where the Earth's atmosphere is doing the work to slow us down.
Is that impressive?
Like we said, this plasma field what a view.
You can see the black tiles are
Starship is so big
taking the heat
that we're hoping that the plasma field doesn't entirely blanket the entire vehicle. Right now, it is not. The Starlinks are
Views brought to you by Starlink.
Yeah, the Starlinks are still communicating.
Now, if you'll notice
and
on
still, capturing the
leeward
data
side,
in the video
which
that we
is the
see
left
here.
side,
I mean, Shiva,
that's
this is
stainless
just absolutely
steel.
incredible
So
views.
if the
We've
heating,
never seen
if
anything
that
like this
plasma
before. This is
heating were to
the
hit the
biggest flying
stainless
object
steel,
ever in space.
which is what it's doing now because
it's important to note the ascent burn that we did was to get us to orbital velocities, even though we were on a nearly orbital trajectory. So the heating and the loads that Starship is going through right now are what it would be getting if it were recovering from an orbital mission. And just the fact that we have views through entry, this is incredible.
You can tell it's 89 kilometers in altitude.
Starship has ever flown.
Yeah.
And you can definitely tell by the crowd here in Hawthorne.
The heat shield tiles doing their work. We talked about it earlier. Up to 2,600 degrees Fahrenheit that those heat shield tiles are dissipating as we are re-entering.
Yeah, now
I
this
think
was
they're
one of
gonna
the
have to raise
critical,
the tiles
or
up a
rather the
little
key
bit more.
mission objectives that we were hoping to hit today. We have never, like I said before, this is the fastest and furthest that Starship has ever
Yeah.
flown. So this is the first
think
time that
that's
we're
pretty
getting to
obvious.
collect this re-entry data and understand how these 18,000 hexagonal
That'll
heat
add
shield
some
tiles
additional
are
weight
working together
to the
to
vehicle.
protect the belly of Starship as it re-enters the Earth's atmosphere. Once again, the atmosphere is doing us a big favor here by
80 kilometers altitude.
the atmosphere is actually doing us a huge favor here by acting as a braking system for Starship as it re-enters the atmosphere.
And that's part of the reason why the flaps are so important. We're using the body of Starship and the drag from the atmosphere to slow us down from orbital speed. But you want the vehicle to remain stable. You want those heat shield tiles pointed down so they can absorb the heat of the Earth's atmosphere. And so that's the purpose that they are serving
That's the launch
during
control
the
room.
hypersonic phase, and then again,
I believe that's in Hawthorne,
Absolutely.
California.
So like we said,
LA,
these views are being provided by
Angeles.
a couple Starlink terminals that are positioned on Starship
left
itself.
side,
As that plasma builds,
looks
we're
like
hoping that we can bring
on
these
the
views
right
back to you.
side, that
But you can see the
may
telemetry there
Boca
on the
Chica,
right-hand side of your
Texas.
screen. If you watch closely, you can see the speed decelerating. Again, that's the friction of the atmosphere resulting in this plasma field, or excuse me, the blanket that is potentially blocking the Starlink terminals right now. So we'll bring those views
Now,
back
if
to
you
you if we
notice the
get
speed
them.
at the
But right
lower
now, for
right,
those of you that have recently joined,
it looks
Starship
like it's
is
still
currently
responding, that the
re-entering
ship's
Earth's
intact,
atmosphere.
but it's-
This is super exciting because it's the furthest
do
and
lose the ship at
fastest
some
that
point.
Starship has ever flown.
probably
It's
about
just
right
absolutely
now, I
incredible.
think.
Major test milestone, something we wanted to accomplish on Flight 2, getting to it today. So just awesome.
Now, we actually have some heat shields here. So these are what's doing all the work on Starship right now.
Yeah.
There are 18,000 hexagonal heat shields like these. So this one that I have is flat, like this is what would be positioned on the flaps of Starship, whereas Shiva has something a little different.
Yeah, the one I have would be on the curved surfaces of Starship. I'll just put it in frame here. So we've got these attached at various points around the vehicle. Like you said, Kate, 18,000 of these tiles around, and they're doing the work to make sure that the structure of the vehicle doesn't carry all that thermal load, so we can recover the vehicles eventually and get to rapid reuse on them.
They're really lightweight. They sound a little different than I would have expected them to, but they are ceramic. And these are what's helping Starship survive through this period of entry. We're not sure how far we're going to make it. Again, this is the furthest that we've gotten in our test flight, but the further we fly, the more data that we can get, and that's ultimately the measure of success here, which I think today has been a huge success given where we've gone and how much further we've gotten with both the booster and Starship.
All right. So it looks like that was the end of that. So I'll go back to the studio. One moment, I'm going to change hats. So today, hello. So today we were able to watch the IFT-3 launch of the SpaceX Starship. And I've got my hat now. I should have probably wore it right at the beginning. My apologies. Yeah, was that not impressive? So they're on to IFT-4. They're planning to launch an additional 6 more test flights this year. Again, it's the goal of the IFT program, which is the Integrated Flight Test Program, is to work through all of the various issues that crop up as they learn how to operate the two ships, the booster as well as the Starship, while it's in space and be able to perform its mission and be able to recover both ships. Remember, this is designed to be a fully reusable system. So when it returns, it won't splash down in the ocean, neither vehicle. It's going to come back to the Boca Chica launch facility, and it will be caught in flight by the Mechazilla arms that are attached to the Starship. I mean, to the launch pad. So, yeah. It's amazing. Let me see if I can get a picture. One moment. Let me Starship launch tower. And let me get a picture of an image. See if I can, oh, there's a good one. So this is what I was going to say right there. Let me go back to the full case. So let me move this over where you can see it. So this is the launch tower that's in Boca Chica, Texas. Whoops. Can't see now. So this is the launch tower. And so as you can tell, when the ship returns back from space, it will be caught in those arms called Mechazilla arms on the launch tower and then lowered down to a test stand on the ground, or could be attached to a new booster that all you have to do is refill and relaunch. That's kind of the goal, is for it to come back maybe a few hours later. It'll relaunch with a new payload and stuff like that. So yeah, impressive. All right, so that's all I had today. I just wanted to show you the launch of the IFT-3 booster, SpaceX Starship system. Consists of the Starship itself as well as the heavy booster. Impressive. It did succeed in doing most of its flight objectives. The two spacecraft did not survive and were ditched in the ocean. That was the test plan. But we were hoping that the engines on the 13 engines would fire on the booster and slow it down so that it could do just a slow entry into the waters of the Gulf of Mexico. And that would simulate it slowing down to be caught by the towers. But that didn't happen. The engines did not fire. So there's a problem there. They'll work through it. And then on the Starship, the problem there, I believe, from what I could tell, was that the spacecraft kept rotating, just rolling. And that's okay while you're in space. But when you're coming in for re-entry, you've got to make sure that those tiles, the black tiles that you saw, are pointed down toward the Earth, and so that it can survive as it comes in, that plasma heating that you saw. Okay. Well, I'm going to call it a day. I thank you for joining us on the Table Talk podcast. We'll see you next week. Hope you have a great Saturday, and we'll see you next week. Take care, my friends.
What you do, you want to me, but I can't let it go so easily. Until I see what it could be eternity or just a week. We are chemistry, it's off the chain, it's working now. What would it change? Speedy as